Hi everybody, it's Chris. I'm at a Hampton Inn in Jacksonville, Florida. It is a Saturday morning. I'm about to head to Ride Now Motorsports to check on the Spyder. I flew into the Jacksonville airport late yesterday afternoon. Horrendous hail. It was unbelievable hail. I hope that's not an ominous sign. Between the Jacksonville airport and this hotel, and the little Uber car was just getting pounded. It is a beautiful day today. So let's go to Ride Now Power Sports. Okay, everybody, after a week away from the Spyder, we are back in action. It's on the road again. We're heading out from Ride Now Power Sports. We've got 1,000+ miles ahead of us, actually 1,125 miles ahead of us. Hopefully it's going to be an event-free ride. So the video that I'm shooting now, that you're going to watch today, I'm shooting on a 3-day ride from Jacksonville, Florida to Providence, Rhode Island. I've wrestled with, should I, because so many of you are asking me, Chris, what's the update with the Spyder? What's the update with the Spyder? And the problem is I've shot so many videos on the Florida trip, and I don't want to have another interruption video, this video, in the middle of that, because it's just odd. But what I'm going to do is have this be the last video you see of the Florida trip, and then we start fresh with other topical videos. So the video that I'm shooting on this Saturday morning, that'll be a video of my ride, and we're not headed back to Niagara Falls, we're headed to Providence, Rhode Island. I mentioned that I may be visiting, depending on the timing and the weather and whatnot, visiting family for Easter. It looks like my iPhone charger is working, which is, I didn't do anything. I don't know what happened. I don't know why it failed, but it's working, and that's a good thing, because I like to have my trusty iPhone in addition to the Garmin GPS, because sometimes I follow the iPhone and not the GPS. So I want to take a moment just to explain the route that we're going on, at least for today's route, and also to talk a little bit about, you know, I'm a planner, I work by the calendar and I work by the clock. Well, this ride's going to be a little bit different, because I do not have a hotel booked for this evening. I'm going to need a hotel, but the problem is I don't know where I want to stop. So normally I like to hit the road first thing in the morning. And for me that is, you know, I wake up, let's say 6 o'clock in the morning, I do my normal routine, and I like to get on the Spyder on these long distance trips. I like to get on the Spyder, let's say at 8 o'clock in the morning. Well, Ride Now didn't even open until 9 o'clock. So I couldn't get on the road at 8 o'clock. So I had my Uber take me to Ride Now at 9 o'clock. And the service guy, Ruben, who was absolutely terrific, the first thing he says to me is, you know, they're going to do the work today. And I thought, no. They had to do the work yesterday. I'm here to pick up the Spyder today. And so he went back, and it turns out that the guy came in early, and he did the work early enough. So I'm leaving just before 10 o'clock in the morning, which I'm just thrilled with. This is just fine. But it is a couple of hours later than I normally would be on the road. The other thing that's affecting, you know, my thinking in terms of where I'm going to stop tonight is it's a beautiful day today. And when I say it's beautiful, the Spyder says it's 64, it's probably 60. And for me, that is beautiful. It's sunny, it's just going to get warmer, but we're in Florida, and instead of it being, I think it was close to 90 degrees the day I broke down when I was on the side of the road, instead of being in that sweltering heat, riding the Spyder with no real protective gear in terms of my riding jacket and gloves and whatnot, I now have, you know, my full battle ready riding gear. So the weather's perfect, and it will be perfect the whole route. Even though we're moving north, it's just going to obviously get warmer throughout the day. So I'm going to finish up somewhere in, my guess is somewhere in northern North Carolina tonight, but I don't know where. I could stop in Dunn, Rocky Mount, Roanoke Rapids. If you've done the I-95 drive, you know the towns I'm talking about. Now, some of you might be saying, don't take 95, you should be taking, you know, Route 81. So there's another route I could take to get to my destination. It would add a couple of hours to the route. In over 3 days, that doesn't really matter much. because I'm going to take 3 days to do this. Even though I could do it in 2, I do not want to push myself. I do not want to push the Spyder, and I will tell you, I'm a little gun shy with the Spyder, right? I know those guys put on a new radiator. I know this thing is good to go, but I also know that suspension fault is about to pop up any moment, and just, you know, the word gun shy is there's a reason for that. So I'm a little gun shy. So I don't want to push the Spyder, and I don't want to push myself. So the reason why I'm taking 95 is I just want to get to my destination. I want to get there as directly as possible. 95 is the best way to do it. I'll go around. The good thing is on Saturday today that I'm shooting this video right now, there's no major cities that I'm going to go around. And when I go around Richmond and Washington and even Philly, that'll be on Sunday. And then I'll leave going around New York City and the crazy I-95 Connecticut traffic for Monday. I know that's going to be hectic, but I'm going to try between my ride today and my ride tomorrow, the second day, I'm going to try to get as far north so that I don't have many miles to go on the last day. Some of you have asked me, hey, are you going to have Ride Now Power Sports look at the suspension fault? I did not want to extend my, you know, stay at Ride Now Sports. I just wanted them to do the thing that they had to do, and that's it. I'll save that for the dealer. It's not inhibiting my riding of the Spyder at all. So I mentioned in the video when, you know, the radiator situation happened that I would show you the bill, and I'm going to do that. I will tell you that the process with Geico was amazing, and let me just back up. I didn't even think about insurance as this being a coverable loss. I've had motorcycle insurance with Geico for years, but never filed a claim. I just have been lucky. No stolen motorcycles, no collisions, thank God, nothing. But a friend of mine in Niagara Falls, Steve, you know who you are, and a couple of you on YouTube commented, hey, you know, you ought to contact your insurance company. And I did, and they were so great to work with. They sent an adjuster out there, and literally I have a $500 deductible, but they sent me a payment almost immediately. They gave me options on how I wanted it deposited into my account. It was seamless. So I can't say enough about Geico motorcycle insurance. I'll show you the bill tonight when I'm in the hotel, when I unpack. I'll take a moment to kind of just review it real quickly with you. So we are either in or about to be in Georgia. Okay, here's the welcome sign. Now we're official. Welcome to Georgia. I'm gonna get in this right lane. So these trucks are reminding me of something I wanted to mention earlier when I talked about the route I'm taking 95. One of the reasons that helped me make the decision to take 95 as opposed to 81 or some of the other routes that would get me to the northeast without taking 95 is I did a lot of Googling, and I saw that there's a lot of truck traffic, I guess, compared to 95 on 81 and those routes. So I don't know if it was a truck that kicked up a rock that hit the radiator, but something did, and I'm thinking it was a truck. So the last thing I want to do is take the route that the trucks travel more. Take a nice drink, enjoy this shade spot, even though it's not at all hot out, and give the Spyder a break, and we'll pick it up in a bit. I believe we're about to enter South Carolina. This river may be the boundary. I don't see a sign. I'd hate to miss the sign because these trucks. Welcome to South Carolina. Glad to be here. There's a welcome center up ahead, and I'm going to pull over. The Spyder thermometer says it's 70 degrees. My guess is, therefore, it's probably 65. And then tomorrow's going to be much cooler. So I have the GPS programmed to Dunn, North Carolina. There's a Hampton Inn in Dunn, North Carolina. But I really don't want to stop. I want to continue a little further than that. There's a Hampton Inn in Rocky Mount, South Carolina. And then there's a Hampton Inn in Roanoke Rapids, South Carolina. And that's really where I'd like to go. This is interesting. Oh, here we go. Cars, all other vehicles, including very small pickup trucks. I've never seen this before. Maybe that's why. Yeah, we can do this. I don't know what that's all about, but I don't want to be part of it. The truckers must be like, what is going on? These guys are invading our turf. What I'm going to do is park right here. So we're going to get off at this next exit and gas up. We need it. And we're going to gas up at a place called Buckee's. A lot of you are probably familiar with Buckee's, and if you don't live near a Buckee's, and I do not live near a Buckee's, but you may have seen videos on it on YouTube or whatnot. It's basically, my understanding is, I've driven past them on the interstate. I've never pulled over to gas up at one. It's a big giant convenience store slash gas station, and it's kind of a tourist trap place. There it is there, but it's this huge mega place. It's like an attraction. So we're gonna gas up and see what it's all about, and then just a few miles up the road, we're still in South Carolina, there's another roadside attraction that we're gonna drive by. We're not even gonna get off the interstate. We're gonna stay on 95, but we can appreciate it from 95. It's just north of where we are right now. It is just south of the border between North Carolina and South Carolina, and I just gave it away to so many of you. If you've ever done the 95 south or north route, you know what I'm talking about, and that is south of the border. We're gonna drive right by it. I haven't driven by it in a long time. It is still there, I know that. I've passed countless billboards for the past, let's say, 100 miles. One of the things about south of the border is they have billboards teasing their location for, I don't know, maybe it's more than 100 miles both ways, coming from the south or coming from the north. So that is Buckee's. Wow, this is unbelievable. Look at all those cars. So maybe I'm wrong, maybe it's not just a big convenience store. And look at all those gas pumps. This is amazing. Look at this. That poor dog. And the other dog's looking at him like, dude, what's your problem? So I thought, because they have so many gas pumps here, that we'd gas up quick and get in and out. I am not going to take you inside, folks. I'd love to do that, but I am on the run. I made a commitment. I'm going to Roanoke Rapids, and so I just don't have a lot of time. Deaf. What is deaf? That doesn't sound good. There's so many pumps here, but this is like pandemonium. I would love to take you inside with my iPhone and kind of go for a tour, but I just don't have the time. Imagine the money that's just pouring in. And I'll just pick it up as we approach south of the border. So when I talked about billboards earlier, that's what I'm talking about. And there's another one there. We're getting really close. But these billboards go out like 100 miles, kind of getting you excited about Pedro and south of the border. That's an old billboard. It's all faded out. Oh, here we are. South of the border. It looks abandoned, but it's not. You can see that from far away. Okay, folks, so now we're entering North Carolina. Welcome to North Carolina, I love it. So I'm staying at the Hampton Inn in Roanoke Rapids. When I get there, I'm going to show you the invoice that I got from Right Now Power Sports. We'll go through that, and then we're going to pick it up tomorrow. You can see there the various items line by line. But anyway, if you look at the bottom, the total is less than what I thought it was going to be. I thought this was going to be around $1,400. The insurance adjuster mentioned to me that there's some variances in how the different shops charge for different things, and Geico has standard policies. That could be why it's lower than what I was initially told, which is, of course, terrific. Hey, it's Chris. We're leaving the Hampton Inn in Roanoke Rapids, North Carolina, which is just south of the North Carolina-Virginia border. Had a long 525-mile ride yesterday that ended. The weather was a little dicey. There was no rain forecasted, but as you know, the forecasts they're just forecasts, right? And the last half hour was kind of rainy. I didn't have my rain gear on, and by that time in the afternoon, as forecasted, it had gotten cooler like it was in the 50s, and then the rain didn't help. So the last half hour was actually kind of miserable. But now we're on the road again. Today's ride will be much shorter than yesterday's, as will tomorrow's. I'm only going about 300 miles today to Wilmington, Delaware. And the reason why I'm making the trip so short is because today it is colder than yesterday. I waited, I'm taking off once again, just like I did yesterday, at 10:15, as you can see on the clock there. And I did that because I wanted it to warm up. It was in the low 40s when I woke up here this morning in Roanoke Rapids. I wanted it to get like 50, and it just hit 50 degrees. According to the Spyder, it says 63. No. It's about 50. It might be 51 or 52, but it's only going to get high in the mid-50s. And that, my friends, is why I have my rain gear on. There's no chance of it raining today, although I thought that yesterday. You can see beautiful blue skies right now, but I was uncomfortably cold yesterday for the second, let's say, third of the ride, and then when it started raining, it just made it worse, and I didn't want to go through that again. So I am overly protected in terms of clothing today, but I'd rather feel comfortable and warm and have to take off a layer in an hour or two when the sun gets higher than be shivering as I was by the time my ride ended yesterday. Now this short ride of 300 miles, we're going to go through Richmond, Virginia. We're going to hit Virginia here momentarily, but we're going to go through Richmond, Virginia. We're going to go, I believe, right through Washington, D.C., and I think we might get some monument sightings in, or at least the Washington Monument. I've never driven through Washington, D.C., or ridden through Washington, D.C. I've flown into it countless times, and you know, when you fly into Reagan on Southwest, or I guess any airlines, you come right close to those monuments, and hopefully we'll get some good monuments in. And then not far past the Washington, Baltimore area, we're going to hit Wilmington. We're going to stay the night at a Hampton Inn there. Unlike last night's reservation, which I made on the go, I've already got my reservation in Wilmington. I made that this morning, so we're stopping there no matter what. And then tomorrow we've got another 300-mile ride, and that one is going to take us either through or around New York City, and then it's another 3 hours to Providence from there. And depending on what time we end up hitting it, 95 and southwestern Connecticut can get crazy in terms of traffic. We shall see. Okay, I believe we're coming up to Virginia soon here. Virginia Welcome Center in 2 miles. Because we just checked out of the hotel, no need to stop at the rest area. Welcome to Virginia. Virginia is for lovers. So we'll pick it up as we get closer to the DC area, and hopefully we'll catch a monument or two. Well, folks, we are in suburban Washington, D.C., and it looks like both the Garmin and Google Maps are taking me around downtown Washington. There's a road, it looks like it's a highway, like I think they call it 395, that I can see veers into DC. And this morning when I looked at Google Maps, that was the route that it was taking me. And I looked, and it looked like we would get within visible range of the Washington Monument. But clearly now you can see that is not going to be the case. We're going to cross the Potomac well east, I guess it is, of DC. Maybe not. And then I'll wrap this up as we, you know, then we'll go into Connecticut and then Rhode Island, and I'll wrap this up as we approach Rhode Island and tell you that, you know, the Spyder's back to its, oh my gosh, I can see the Washington Monument. It is far, but it is visible. I'm going to stand up to see if you can see that. I can't hold that glance for long because I'm on an interstate highway, but wow, I can see it. It's much further away than I thought it would be. I hope that comes through when I'm editing this video tonight. Okay, welcome to Maryland. I will just tell you that while I was gun shy on yesterday's leg of the trip because the Spyder, you know, had that issue, I'm no longer gun shy. Yeah, I've got the recurring suspension faults, but this thing is just a fabulous machine. Couldn't be happier with it. A radiator, you know, puncture from a rock can happen to any machine with liquid cooling. My confidence in the Spyder is as high as ever. So I did not intend on turning on the camera now, but it looks like we're going to go through a tunnel. We're in Baltimore. I guess we're approaching downtown Baltimore, the harbor area, I guess, and I saw a sign for a tunnel, and I thought, you know what, tunnels are cool, I'm going to turn on the camera. And I will say, it's not easy doing it with these winter weight gloves on. Oh yeah, here comes the tunnel. Negative 14 feet elevation, and we're going deeper. Wow, this is a long tunnel. It looks like this is the bottom, and we're starting to climb now. So maybe there's a light up ahead, and I see light. There it is, light at the end of the tunnel. These tunnels are very, very loud. Oh, what a relief. The noise level in those, the decibel level in those tunnels is amazingly high. So we are fast approaching Delaware. We're about 11 miles from my hotel. It's almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm glad I'm staying here, but part of me wishes I'd pushed on for another hour or so. It's, I'm bundled up, so the cold is not a factor at all. In fact, I'm quite comfortable. Oh, I see the sign. Welcome to Delaware. Endless discoveries. So we're fast approaching the hotel, the Hampton Inn. I'll get checked in and we'll pick it up tomorrow. It's a cold morning in Wilmington, Delaware. We're actually leaving early this morning. You know, it's 8:15. It's in the 40s. The Spyder says it's 52. It's probably 45. It's gonna get warmer as the day goes on. I've got my full, you know, rain gear, and of course it just started raining, which I think this is like a very light forecasted rain that's just passing through. I'm gonna leave my iPhone out because it's not supposed to be long lasting or heavy. We've got probably a 6-hour ride today. It's only 300 miles. We'll make a couple of stops. And so I think the ride's going to be pretty uneventful. It'll probably get cool when we get closer to the city. Hopefully it'll be a little warmer then. At some point I'm going to take these this rain gear off. But until we get closer to the city, I'll shut it down and we'll pick it up in a bit. I'm so glad I managed to turn the GoPro on the fly. I mentioned it, I think, on yesterday's journey. It's so hard to do with these heavy winter gloves, but this bridge looks pretty cool. We're heading over, we're still in the Wilmington area. We're on the New Jersey Turnpike. If I can figure out what this bridge is from either of my Google Maps or Garmin, I will tell you. But if I can't, maybe one of you can put it in the comments. We're on 295. We're on the New Jersey Turnpike, I believe. If you know what river this is and what bridge this is, let us know in the comments. Welcome to New Jersey. Okay, we just entered New Jersey, and I only know it because Google Maps is telling me. So we are in the New York City metropolitan area. So I think that's Newark, New Jersey, and New York City is that way. I can see it barely. I'm not going to stand up here, but New York City is in that direction. I guess where I'm going is I'm not sure if we're going to get a great view of the skyline if we're heading over. Oh, okay, so there's the New York City skyline, but that's a beautiful skyline. I wish the weather was a little clearer so it'd be a little crisper. So this pretty totally awesome looking bridge, but that looks just completely beautiful. So I'm going to look to the right now, and I'm going to get over to the right lane. I'm going to try to hold that look for long enough for you to get a good view of the skyline. Oh yeah, wow. For those of you who know New York City, I don't know what the difference is between that area and the area dead ahead that we now can't see because this darn truck. And I can see from Google Maps we're crossing the Hudson River. So there's a tunnel to get to the bridge, the lower level of the bridge. Again, this is the George Washington Bridge. Yeah, there is the skyline. We're not getting a good view of it, and I can't hold that pose for long, but it's there. I'm gonna get in the right lane here. Nice. Welcome to New York. So I guess we just left Jersey heading to New York. We're not going to be in New York long, and then we're going to be in Connecticut for a while, and then Rhode Island. The Bronx Expressway, another tunnel. I do not know how I'm going to fit this 3-day trek into a 30-minute or less video, but I'm going to try. We're still in New York State, but we're fast approaching Connecticut. Welcome to Connecticut. So we're going to be in Connecticut for maybe an hour and a half on Interstate 95. Then we're going to hit Rhode Island, and that'll be our destination. So we're fast approaching Rhode Island on Interstate 95. Since this trip began, when I left my driveway in Niagara Falls, we've traveled 3,500 miles. And we're still 500 miles from Niagara Falls, but we're going to end this Florida trip in Rhode Island, where I'll be visiting with family for the Easter holiday. So again, this video marks the end of the Florida trip videos. This is the last. The Spyder managed 1,100 plus miles on this journey from Jacksonville. No issues other than the perennial suspension fault. Welcome to Rhode Island. Folks, if you like this video, please hit that like button. If you have any comments, please comment away. If you're not a subscriber to the channel yet, please join the 2,700 plus folks that are subscribed, and until that next video, you have a great day. Bye-bye.